Joining us today on Stool Talk, we have with us Mr. Anthony Casey, track star at Marietta High School. Great GPA, great athlete, training, working hard. This is our first track person on the show today. We need to get more, but we wanted to start with you because we know how much you really love track, and we know how you're really into it. Can you describe to us when did you first start playing sports, and what was your first sport that you played?
I would say I started playing sports since I was around like 5, 6, and we was in elementary, like second, third grade. We just been playing sports. The first sport was probably basketball. I
Okay.
think that's like the first sport I started playing.
Yeah. So when did you start track?
I started track freshman year,
Freshman year.
high school. Yeah.
When did you fall in love with track, and when did you say, "Man, I think I can be good at this. I think this is something I want to take serious and go hard"? Because I've seen the work that you put in started from the beginning and up until now, and you're a junior, correct?
Yeah.
I've seen the work that you've been putting in. When did you fall in love with track, and when did you say, "Man, I can do this. I can be good at this"?
I fell in love with it like I would say like when I first tried it, because before then I wanted to try it in middle school, but that's when COVID came. So I
Yeah.
wasn't really able to because that's when they shut everything down. But when I had first, when I was first able to try it freshman year, I just liked it like immediately.
Yeah. What race do you run, and which is the race that you like the most? Event.
So I run the 100, the 200, and sometimes the 400, and I do like the relays for those
Okay.
same events.
Okay. How do being that you started as a freshman running track, how does that help you in preparing, and how do you prepare for each track season, each track meet that comes?
Um, I'm a little bit behind for some of my like peers because like they've been running since like they were kids or since they were in middle school. So I kind of had to play catch up for like my first year and a little bit of my second year, but now like I train during the off season, like whether it's during the summer or like during first semester when track's not in, I train. So
Yeah.
I think all of that in the weight room like helps prepare me for the season.
Yeah. Does it motivate you and give you a mental edge to know that, hey, I gotta compete, I gotta be better than them, I gotta, get my game up to the level that it needs to be, being that you started behind? Or do you self-motivate or do different things with you starting late, you want to be the best? What motivates you?
Um, what motivates me, I would say, is like the desire just to be better and to succeed. Like
Yeah.
that's what pushes me. Like seeing those around me succeed makes me want to succeed, and that's why I say what pushes me like the most.
Yeah. um how important is it for your parents and other parents to support their kids by showing up to their meets, to their games, and even giving them encouragement and motivating them and pushing them?
Showing up for your kids, like it helps boost their self-esteem, and it shows like you care about what they've been working on and what they like love to do. So, like showing up for your kids and supporting and asking them even about how like practice went, like little things like that is important. Even if we don't say it, we don't vocalize it, like that stuff matters to us because we work really hard when it comes to sports or just after school activities, stuff like that.
So what would you say to a teammate, or what would you say to a youth that may be watching this, that may don't have that parent support? What would you be able to say to them or to encourage them?
Ultimately, like you have to be your own biggest supporter and like you have to be your own biggest motivator because it's not guaranteed that you're gonna have support from other people or like help or like that from other people. But if you are your biggest supporter, if you're focused, if you like motivate yourself, then you'll you'll end up succeeding because you're motivating yourself. So
Yeah. Both of your parents are in ministry. Shout out to Ashley Witcher. Shout out to Vincent Casey.
yeah.
Being around church and your parents being in ministry, what was your first sign of faith? And when did you see and know that God is real?
I think the first time I knew God was real would be when we lived in Kansas and we went to church. It was like elementary. We would see like miracles like happen in people's lives.
Yeah.
Um, just all sorts of stuff at church.
Yeah. So what does faith mean to you? And how do you use your faith with track, being an athlete?
Um, Faith for me is like believing when things are tough or believing when you don't know what it's gonna look
Yeah.
like having that faith. And then how I use it in track is like make sure I pray like before I race because I never know what could happen. Like I could get hurt or something bad could happen. So I make sure I pray before like each event.
Yeah. This past summer, you attended a church camp. What was that experience like? And how was that for you?
That camp this summer, for me, I think it changed like how I view church. Like, because before I would think of church as like a chore, but like I love God, but I viewed church as like a chore and I didn't like it as much. But going to the camp, they were able to change how I viewed it and teach me,
Yeah.
better than like I could have gotten it from church. And I liked how we were able to be isolated from our devices and stuff so we could get like our full attention
Yeah.
around people our age. Yeah.
So is it safe to say that you went to a camp and experienced the encounter and were more and left more on fire for God? I'm glad that you typically said that verbatim because some people think just like you think, but they don't say it, or somebody say, don't say that. But if that's how you felt like church was a chore, you knew that you wasn't supposed to be feeling like that. So that's not bad. God knew it was inside your heart. God is able to see and answer the desires of your hearts. He know what you wanted, and you wanted a different experience. You didn't want to keep going through the motions. And people around you, even your schoolmates, your teachers, your family, they see the encounter, they see the God on you. So how are you able to use that experience from camp to be able to minister to your friends or even minister to the youth?
Um, like if I see like those around me like experience something like and they're like handling it rough, or like if they're like something just really bad just happened to them, like I will tell them about like, well, this is what I do when I'm feeling, sad or mad or like I'm feeling disappointed or if I'm hurt. I'll just tell them like about God and how he's helped me and helped those around me and how he can help them too.
Yeah, that's real good. What would you say you are more of a leader by example or a verbal leader on your track team?
I would say I'm both, but more like example because we have like people that are like even in the same grade or underclassmen, they don't really know what to do. So they usually like turn to me or ask me for help. So I help them out when they need anything.
Yeah, recently at your brother football game, shout out to your brother Rayshawn Casey playing for the Marietta Blue Devils. Just got a victory last night. We heard the track coach speak to your mom and say how consistent you was in your effort. Even the upperclassmen, the seniors, people that have been running, like you said, they're not putting that work in. They're not being their discipline in themselves like you were. And even your coach spoke to. Every time I turn around, he's at every session, he's at every meet, he's at everything. Like being consistent. Where did that come from, and when did you get that spark? Because it even happened in your grades. When you started freshman year, your grades did went up north. Like what grade point you had? Almost a 4.0?
Yeah, I have like a 3.9 right now.
Yeah. Nice. So when did that kick in, and was it school first, or was it with track, or did it happen simultaneously?
I'd say like I entered high school like knowing what I wanted. Like I wanted
Yeah.
to succeed in everything, whether it was sports or like school, because I knew like one of them or both of them was gonna get me somewhere. So I wanted
Yeah.
to like go into both head first.
How do you balance your academics and your athletics, like with track practice, because y'all got track meets that last long, and then when y'all run track, y'all done late at night. So now you got to go home. You
Mhm.
got to. How do you balance that and maintain a great GPA like you have?
You just gotta pay attention in class. Like you have to be able to complete your stuff on time and ask questions when you're confused because if you don't, it's easy to get like left behind. And we also, our coach, like he's always open for us to going and getting tutoring instead of coming to practice because he knows like having our grades right is more important than being an athlete because we're a student first.
Yeah. And you serve at Embassy. Shout out to Embassy, Embassy City. You serve on the youth ministry with the crew. What do you love most about it, and where did you get that servitude heart from?
What I love about serving, I would say, is meeting new people and being able to come out of my comfort zone because like personally, I'm not too social. I would say I'm more chilled, I'm more laid back. So being able to serve, it pushes you out your comfort zone and it allows you to just change in a way.
Yeah, and you by serving what I see, and even for the young people, like you said, you might not talk loud or you might not talk, to a lot of people, but they see you leading by example, you serving, so you being faithful by serving in your actions, and you're offering up an offering of servitude to people and being there. Sometimes I done seen you serve in two different ministries. You serving with the crew, then you would go help somewhere else, and you doing that, so it's good that people can see so they can be like, man, it's something different about him, or I see his heart, or I know his heart, and God is blessing you because you're not doing it for no reward. Like, hey, I did this. You doing it out the kindness of your heart. What would you say to the youth or a young male or female that may be struggling with their identity? What would you speak to them and about that with them dealing with the identity?
If you're struggling with your identity, I would say the best way to find your identity would be through God because if you don't like you'd have to get like an intimate relationship with God so he can like reveal to you like what you're meant to be, what you're meant to do, and being surrounded by like leaders that can help like advise you on and help you when you need help.
Yeah, what does that look like being? What if they say, well, Anthony, how do I get intimate with God? I want to. I'm struggling. What do I need to do? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to come to church, start reading your Bible, um, like being consistent in that, like that's like the first step.
Yeah. What would you say to someone young struggling with keeping up with the Joneses, maybe trying to be in the streets because they think that's what they're supposed to do? They're seeing everybody. So they're struggling with not leaving that lifestyle alone versus going after their destiny. What would you say to that?
I would tell them like there's like more like out there for them, like they have more destined for them, and they can leave that because they know like it's hurting them or they're struggling from it. So I can help them or give them advice on leaving that lifestyle.
Yeah. Last couple questions, we get you up out of here. How do you balance staying following Christ, being a great student athlete, versus the lifestyle? Because we know it's around you, sin is around you, the different temptations are diverse temptations are around you. Like, how do you balance that to maintain being for real and going after God, which you are?
I still think every day is like a process. Like I'm still like trying to balance it as best as I can,
Yeah.
but just making sure that I'm intentional about having balance and making time for everything is what helps a lot.
Yeah. Last two questions. What are your goals for this upcoming track season, and what are your goals for this upcoming school academic semester or school year?
Um, for track, my goal is to be varsity and to have like better personal records than I did like the last 2 years. I also want to get through the season like with no injuries. I want to be
Yeah.
able to just start, finish, and be just better than I was last year.
Yeah.
And oh, for my academics, I want a 4.0.
Yeah, I believe you're gonna get that. You gonna get it. Just because I know you like you don't stop until you get what you want, or you the goal that you trying to, you gonna go hard and you gonna do it. So I believe that that you're gonna be able to get that. Is it any colleges you're looking at, or any colleges you want to attend?
I was looking at colleges like down in the South, like Georgia, Florida, Texas. I don't really have like an exact college I'd want to go to, but if I could stay in state, I'd probably stay in state.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you sitting down, taking the time with us, man. Continue going after God. Continue doing it the right way. Because I'm not just saying this. I actually see you and see the fruit that you are showing. It's good fruit, and people can see you. You're being a good representative of the kingdom, of your family. And just living right, and you are humble, and you are saying, look, every day is a struggle. It ain't perfect. I still have this, I still battle with that, but I take it day by day, and you set the example, and you let your actions do the work. So we appreciate you. Good luck to your track team this year. You're gonna be able to do it. You're gonna get that 4.0. You're gonna knock them times out, because you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. It's been great.
It's been great. Thank you.
Yep.